Welcome back to the third episode of nVision tutorial. In this episode, I will spend more time inside PeopleSoft application and we will review the configurations of the remaining pieces of nVision puzzle. Do you know how fiscal year and accounting periods are set up within your PeopleSoft finance system? What is the role of trees in nVision? What are time spans and how are they configured? You will get answers for all these questions after watching this episode. So stay tuned. Whatever I am working today is the continuation from a previous episode. Please do check out those videos before coming here. The direct links for those videos are available in the description below. Before I begin, my name is Siva Koya and that's my PeopleSoft background. In my previous episode, we saw how a layman can record financial transactions on a daily basis. In our case, our CEO Mike used Google spreadsheets. Financial transactions can be anything. It can be an expense transaction, or like we discussed last time, it can be an asset transaction, or even a revenue, liability, etc. We also understood that if we extrapolate these daily financial transactions on a spreadsheet to a monster application like PeopleSoft, the daily transactions are stored in the journal line table. The summarized version of the same data is stored in the ledger table. Why are we talking about ledgers in nVision tutorial? Because the data source for nVision is the ledger table. If you know, it's almost similar to BI Publisher report pulling the data from PSQuery. That's why it's so important to know in and out of ledger table if you want to create nVision reports. Now let's compare the old-fashioned summarized spreadsheet with the ledger table to get a hang of how the data gets stored in the ledger table. Don't worry about the exact values. We will focus on how the data is stored in spreadsheet and the ledger table. First, let's compare the apparent ones. At the first glance, you can easily say the account is stored as is in the ledger table. Also, the amount is stored as is, but be careful with the sign though. Credit is always stored with a negative sign in PeopleSoft system and debits are always stored with the positive sign. If you are like me, having hard time to understand when the amount is stored as positive sign, when it is stored as negative sign in the PeopleSoft system, look at this PDF. This PDF is really helpful. I found this online. For example, if you bought assets like in our previous example, looking at the PDF, you can easily say you are adding assets to your system and it's a positive sign. Let's take another example. Usually when we track our personal expenses, we tend to use negative sign in our spreadsheets for the personal expenses. But looking at the PDF, in the PeopleSoft system, if you increase your expenses, it's a positive sign. Now let's go back to comparing summarized spreadsheet with the ledger table. If you notice, our spreadsheet has different categories like cash accounts, market securities, receivables, etc. In PeopleSoft system, you define this when you create accounts. Take a look at these two examples. Now we are left with only one field. How the February 2015 in spreadsheet is tracked in PeopleSoft ledger table? The answer is using fiscal year and accounting period. Let's find out how fiscal year 2015 and accounting period 2 corresponds to February 2015. In order to find that, log in into PeopleSoft application, navigate to Setup Financials Supply Chain, Business Unit Related, General Ledgers and Ledgers for a unit. Input your business unit and search. There are a bunch of ledgers defined for your business unit here. Look for the ledger with general generated default. In majority of the cases, this is your actuals ledger. Look for the field calendar ID. Here it is, 01. If you open this calendar definition, from setup financials, supply chain, calendars and schedules, detail calendar, search for the fiscal year 2015. This is how you know February 2015 in spreadsheet corresponds to fiscal year 2015 and accounting period 2. As you can see in the ledger table, it stores summarized data for each accounting period. What if you want nVision to pull data quarterly or annually or half yearly? That's when timespans come into picture. For example, in case of quarterly, combine all the amounts for the first 3 accounting periods. Timespans are defined at setup financials, calendars and schedules, and timespans. Search for QTR1. As you can see, it pulls the data from accounting period 1 to 3. What is the start year? When you run an nVision report, you specify a date and it decides the start year based on the calendar setup we discussed before. I strongly encourage you to explore other timespans because timespans are basically used in nVision reports to pull the data for a specific range of fiscal years and accounting periods. Lastly, let's talk about trees. Trees are used to store hierarchical data. For example, if you want to create nVision reports for a specific set of accounts, do you like adding each account manually from the master account table? Or just select tree node and it picks all the accounts under that specific tree node? Which one is more flexible? Of course, using trees. If you take a look at this tree, when we create current asset nVision report, all we need to do is select account rollup tree and the tree node current assets so that it pulls all the current asset accounts into the report automatically. That's about it for today, guys. We covered a lot of ground today about fiscal year, accounting periods, time spans and trees. In the next episode, we will get our hands dirty and create our first nVision report. I can't wait to share you those details. See you soon in the next video. Thank you all for watching this video.